Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So today's video, mix of a few different things going on. Firstly, why are we out with the sprayer whilst it is literally just after stopping raining? We'll explain more about that in a second. Other things going on in this video, we're going to be having a look at the David Brown 1212. There is a little bit of work going on it. I had some questions actually in the last week, just asking me what's happened with it. Did we put a cab on it, or what was the story with it? So we're going to have a little update on just what is happening with it, because there is a few things going on. So there is that. We'll also be doing some questions that I got asked in the last video. The last video was the review of the 6.0, and I had some good questions in the comment section, which I just thought maybe it was worth covering. So we're going to do that. We'll answer the questions that was asked in that in the comment section of that video. And yeah, that's really basically what today's video is going to be. So why are we out in the rain with the sprayer on? Well, we are going to put on some liquid nitrogen on our silage ground. 2 weeks ago today we lifted the silage off it. A week ago today then, was it a week ago today? Yes, a week ago today we applied the slurry on it. Now, it hadn't got that much rain over the last week. It done a few showers here and there up until yesterday, but yesterday we had a heavy day's rain, and it hasn't really washed in much of the slurry yet. So you can see the lines of slurry are all there. Everything is still basically the way it was last week when I left it. So we need a bit of rain, but we also need some heat, because we've been lacking heat. It has been unseasonably cold. Grass growth has been very slow over the last number of weeks. Spring crops have been very slow in coming on. The maize, since it went in, is basically stopped and in reverse. It is just not growing. It is that cold. Yesterday it was windy, wet and cold. It was like a day that you would have in October or November. That is not a word of a lie. It wasn't like June. So hopefully that wind and bit of a storm that we had that kind of come in with it will bring a change to the weather. It does feel a wee bit milder today, so we'll see. Hopefully we get some warmer weather, because we need it. We need a certain amount of rain, but we definitely need warmer weather. I did see yesterday Adrian of We Found put up on his Instagram that on the 13th of June last year that the weather broke, and it kind of stayed wet the whole year. So I hope the fact that it broke yesterday and that it was one of those wet days, that it's not an omen that it's going to be the same as last year. I hope so. I hope that we don't get a repeat of last year, because we don't need that. But yeah, anyway, that's basically what's happening. We're going to put out the liquid in. We're putting on 24% nitrogen liquid, 24% liquid nitrogen. It is going out at a rate of 335 litres per hectare. Let's just get this right. 335 litres per hectare, and that equates to just over 80 units of nitrogen per acre. So yeah, that'll be plenty for the second cut. That, and along with the slurry. Our slurry would be quite powerful stuff, because it all came out of the beef sheds, and yeah, it would have plenty of power to it. So yeah, that'll be enough to get it there, and hopefully in about 7 weeks or so, 6-7 weeks, that we'll have a good crop of grass and ready to mow down again. So we'll get going at it, and we get this field done. So I suppose we'll go through how we get everything started. Firstly is lever for the sprayer. We use that for folding it out. So there's 3 different settings here. There's a red ring around this button. If you press it, it goes green, and if you press at the back, it goes, I don't know if you can actually see it or not, it goes yellow or stroke with orangey colour. But we need it on the red, because depending on what colour this ring is, it changes the function of what all these buttons do. So when it's on the red, we use this here then to push it up. That raises the actual booms of the sprayer up. You then push the right hand then to fold it out, which is pretty simple. It just folds out and goes through its sequence of folding out. It takes, I don't know, I suppose about 30 seconds to fold it out fully. Once you fold it out fully, you then go to the down button, which adjusts your height, and you move the booms down as you want to have them about, I suppose, roughly about 1.5 meters off the ground. I keep them at. We then will put on our PTO, and we will rev the tractor up. Then it's doing about somewhere around 450, 500 PTO speed. We'll put on the isobus, which then shows us our sprayer settings. We'll unlock the boom so that it's no longer locked and it can swivel side to side then on a bumper that. So it's no longer rigid, and then we put on our auto, so it goes to A here on the screen. Hopefully you can see this. Once it goes to auto, then that means it's automatic then for the nozzles to work. And basically, once you've all that done, press your button here to put it back to green for sprayer operations. Get the tractor moving, press this button, and away she goes. She's letting the liquid in out on the ground. So we can speed up to do about 11-12 kilometers an hour and no problem at all. And it's all automatic. So basically, you drive the tractor right around on the headland. Try not to hit the sprayer off the ditch, and then once you get in past it to the next round in, you just nozzles turning on and off themselves. You just basically drive to where you have to. This field, it's kind of an odd shape. There's no straight corners or no straight sides on it, and I don't bother putting the GPS on it because it's long and narrow, and it's only a few runs up and down the field. But yeah, it doesn't take too long to do it. There's about 7 acres in this part of the field, and we'll get through it pretty quickly. We'll have it spread in, I don't know, 5 minutes. So anyway, we keep going and get it done. Alright, I'll just show you my view here as we are spraying the liquid nitrogen on. So you can basically see everywhere that's coloured in blue is done. So the tractor's going up the field. You can see the width of the sprayer there. It's colouring in behind it everywhere that it's been done. We're not just taking the full width, but very near. And yeah, as I say, it doesn't take too long to do it. The fact it's a long, narrow field, you get it done really quickly. But yeah, good job. But once it comes up then into this narrower part, the nozzles then all start to turn off automatically right the whole way across. You probably can't see it there, but yeah, just turns off right the whole way across, and it means that you have very little overlapping, and it's really accurate. So yeah, great. It is a great job. It's probably the most accurate way to spread fertilizer, and you know, even wind drift isn't really that big of an issue with it, because the droplets are quite big, and even if it is a bit windy, they don't move that far. Just keep the sprayer booms relatively low, and yeah, it's deadly accurate. So that's basically what you have to do when you are spraying with this system. Alright, so 12-12, as I mentioned, we're going to have just a quick look at some of the things that's going on with it, because there's a bit of a work in progress going on it since the last time you've seen it. There is a frame on the tractor now, which wasn't on it last summer. Yeah, just basically got one of the frames. You could actually, when you're purchasing these tractors, you could actually get them, you could buy them with no cab, you could buy them with this frame, or you could buy them with a complete cab. And I do know some that was sold with just this frame on it. It was just used like as a safety frame. But yeah, got this here, was in good condition other than a bit of rust on it here and there. Not much rust, just a little bit of sofa stuff. And it was all sandblasted down, primed, painted, a whole job done on it. And yeah, made a really good job of it. And it is on now and in possession. So what all have we got? We have a front glass panel that goes down here to the front of the bonnet. We have the side panels that goes down along the side on each side. We have a roof for it, and we have some side panels. Now side panels, anyone knows David Brown's, they all rusted. All the side panels like that hold the glass, all rusted, and getting good ones is nigh on impossible. Now you can get fiberglass ones, which we haven't just exactly decided. We may actually buy a set of fiberglass ones and put them in it. They look basically the same, but they're not original. So we don't know, we'll see. We have some side panels that are great, that would need a bit of work done to them, and I suppose depending on just how much it's going to take to get them sorted out, we may abandon it and we might just put the plastic side panels in it. But yeah, look, there is progress going on with it. The other thing that's going on with it is this tractor never had a pick-out pitch. It's now getting a pick-out pitch. So we have got, some of it is fitted on. Look, it was all fitted on, and check to see that it was right. This is the bottom part of it here that holds the drawbar or the crook, and it's going to, as you can see, it was painted, but there was bits of it that was rubbed down again and going to just get touched in. So that's there, and the rest of the pick-out pitch is all here on the ground, ready to be basically assembled. It was all together, it was taken back apart, just make sure everything fitted all right, which it did, and has to go back together basically. The other thing too that Dad put on it is there's an extra sister arm that is going on it to give it extra lift capacity. So that's that one there. And he also put this valve block on it, which is an extra spools. So you can see there it has got the whole kit for one, has it all fitted onto it, and be able to tip trailers now. Double acting, we'll be able to use it for, I don't know, whatever. But I suppose just a couple of wee extras that he wanted to put on it, and he got them on it. Got the bits and got them fitted onto it. So there's a bit of work still to be done on it. This would have been finished, only he got the back injury. He was itching to get it finished. So he's kind of been sitting idle now for the last number of weeks. But he's talking about maybe doing a wee bit to it in the next week or so, because all going well, we do want to use the David Brown at square baling if hay time ever comes around. So yeah, that's that. But there is progress going on it, even though I didn't mention anything about it at the time. But yeah, it's a work in progress. So that's an update on that. Alright, so just before we do the questions on the 215 that I got last time out on the review video, we're down in the calving shed because we still had 5 cows to calve. 4 days ago we had 5 cows to calve, now we're down to 2. We had 3 cows calved in the last 4 days, which is great. This one here calved on Friday, a lovely Charlotte calf, and this one here is literally just calved there an hour ago. So you can see her there. She's a wee bit nervous, so I'm not going to go too close to her. She's probably still a little bit sick, but she's had an absolute monster of a calf. You can see her there shaking her head at me. And the other one, which was born on Wednesday, we let it out Thursday afternoon, and it's in the field at the moment. Just late, the calves that were slow to go and calf for one reason or another, and they're just 5 stragglers. So we're down to the last 2, which are down there. Now, excuse the straw situation. we haven't got a whole pile of straw left. In actual fact, we're down to like a couple of bales and we're using them on some of our reared calves. So these cows are going to be in overnight. Calves are going to be tagged in the morning and getting outside, so they're not going to be here that awfully long. But great that they're calving away and I just want to finish them at this stage. But yeah, so far so good. Still no crypto, so we had no issues with crypto this year at all. Once again, same as last year, and we had no losses. Oh, everything that was born is still born. So it could be one of the few years that we had 0 losses with calves. Still 2 to go, and I shouldn't say that too early, but so far at this point we've always had losses. So it's been lucky, which is good. We'll take it. So yeah, that's the cows calving. Alright, so the few questions on the 215, I'm going to be reading them off my phone, so you'll see me just looking down at them to see what they are. We'll start off with Kieran McGovern, who asked, how does the 215 compare with the 6930 on fuel consumption and hydraulic power? Any easier on diesel, being much more modern and a more powerful tractor? It's, I'd say 50-50. Some things I found it handier on fuel, some things it's harder. I would say on outright pulling, if you were going to collect a load of feed or collect anything, I think it might be slightly harder on diesel. But I've used it in baling situations where it's handier on diesel. I've used the drilling and it's handier on diesel. In the silage harvester, it's handier on diesel. So, you know, there is some things. I have used it baling in hilly ground, and I thought it used a bit more diesel than the 6.9 would have used. But I was travelling at a faster speed and got the field done quicker. So there's a bit of a toss off there. I suppose if you're against the weather and wanted to get a field done quicker, you wouldn't mind the bit of extra diesel usage. Mowing, it's pretty much the same on the mower. There's not much in it. Ploughing is pretty much the same as well, and on the power harrow, I actually used, when we were doing the maize, done quite a bit of power harrowing, and I had it on both tractors. And I'd say, if anything, the 6.9 could be a little bit harder on diesel on the power harrow, and you're travelling at a slower speed as well. So, you know, it's 50-50. I'd say in out and out pulling, I'd say it is slightly harder, but there's not much in it. There really isn't much in it. Next question then is from Anthony O'Donovan. Good review on the tractor. Has a new one gone up much in price as you bought it? About somewhere between 50 and 60,000. I ordered mine in, which is a colossal amount of money for the same tractor. I ordered mine in August 21. It arrived August 22, and when I was getting it, I could have got 25-30,000 profit on it even at that stage. And they've went up, they've doubled up, even it's doubled in price even since that. So they're up to guts of 60 grand, or maybe more. They may have. I haven't heard the price since last summer, and maybe or the end of last summer, and maybe they've went up again. So yeah, they've definitely went up a lot in price. So next question is from GH Agri. Do you wish that you had got AutoQuad instead? My 1950 is the same. The back of the tractor fills up with crap, and it's hard to get out at the best of times. Air compressor blow it out when it's dry is best. No, I don't wish I'd gotten the AutoQuad. I wanted to get the Command Arm Pro. You can't get a AutoQuad Command Arm Pro. It has to be Auto Power, and I'm happy that I've gotten the Auto Power. A bit different to drive, as I've mentioned in the last video, but once you get used to it, it's a great gearbox. And it is John Deere's most reliable gearbox. It's more reliable even than the Auto Power, than the Auto Quad. So yeah, and I think it's 50% or over 50% of tractors now have been sold with Auto Power. So it is. There is more and more than being sold. Next question is from PDIJA. It's just initial. It must be initials for something. Great video, Jerry. Do you think you'll keep the 215 long term or trade it for new in a few years? Any plans for front mower? Everyone keeps asking me any plans for front mower. I'd love a front mower. If anyone wants to give me a front mower, send it out to me. But not at the minute. I'm not going to buy a front mower at the minute. Who knows? Then the road I might, but just not at the moment. 215. I intend to keep it long term. I don't intend to be trading it in. That's why I spec'd it fairly well when I was getting it and got everything that I wanted. That I'd have it all in this round, if you like. So I don't intend to trade it anytime soon. Next question is Joe Clancy. Great review. Will you trade for a new one? Oh, well, I've just answered that as well. So yeah, I'll not be trading anytime soon. Next question is from Nicklad9463. Jerry, be honest. Your biggest dislike is repayments. That's without a given. That's the problem. But I'm stuck with them for another few years. Somebody else asked, did I wish that I had purchased a 155 or a 185 rather than the 215? I don't know who it was, or I can't remember. It's quite recently that they asked me that. No, I wanted the bigger tractor when I was purchasing it. 215. I was actually going to go for a 175 initially, and my then dealer, Handling Machinery, said Michael was kind of talking me into a 215. It wasn't that much extra, and you had the extra horsepower, and as he said himself, it probably more saleable down the line. If I decided to sell it in a number of years' time, it would be definitely more saleable. So I wanted the bigger tractor. Teleport here has decided to let something down. It's been sitting here for about an hour. But yeah, wanted the bigger tractor. And they're a bit bigger, a bit heavier, and just a better puller. And I seen that last year. When we were moving chicken dung, I had the Smith trailer on, which was holding about 24 ton of dung in it at the time. And we were pulling alongside the 6930 had the smaller Silage trailer on it, the black and red Heron one of our own, and a 1550 was also drawing with a Heron trailer on, and the 215 would just plough straight down the field. The Smith trailer was digging down a foot into the ground, and even tracks behind it because it was that wet, and it would just plough on. So wherever you want to go, it'd just drag the trailer with it. The other two tractors, they were taking roughly about between 16 and 18 ton, and they weren't able to do it. In fact, both of them got stuck at certain times. The Heron, the 155 of the Heron actually was inside of a hill. He couldn't tip it up, and we hooked it off, and I hooked it onto the 215, and it just drove out like it was nothing behind it. It just pulled it straight out, and we tipped it then, and we just didn't draw down that far or take the dung down the field that far again. But yeah, that's just the difference in them. They're not that much bigger. They're slightly bigger, slightly taller. The wheel turning circle of the 215, it has turnable fenders on it, and it's actually exactly the same as their 6930. So there's very little in the difference. It's very manoeuvrable. A bit wider on the road. You'd notice that just the wheels are a little bit wider on the road, but very little in it. So yeah, no, I was very happy that I went with the 215 rather than the one like a 185 or that. Now 185 is a fantastic tractor as well, or a 155, but they're just lacking the bit of weight and extra power that the other tractor has. So I think that covers all the questions. Thanks very much for everyone who asked some extra questions. I did seen a good few of them coming in, and I just put a comment on the video saying that if you ask questions that I'd answer them in the next video. So done and dusted. So that's it for today's video. Hope you enjoyed this little update on all different things and stuff that's going on the farm. Don't forget, if you haven't already subbed to the channel, hit the sub button, leave a like in the video, comment down below if you have any more questions right now, any comments to make, or anything that you want to add to what I've been saying, even about the tractors or anything else. And yeah, I do read all the comments, and I do reply back to some of them as well. So that's it for today's video. See you during the week, where hopefully, if the weather has picked up, we might be mowing some grass and doing some reseeding. Hopefully.